Hi there, I'm Deanie, and welcome to my channel. Today, we're diving back into the world of Five Nights at Freddy's 2, ready to decode all of its secrets and mysteries. If you haven't seen it already, this is the second video I've made about FNAF 2, where I dipped my toe into the game with Nights 1 and 2. I made an even earlier video before that about FNAF 1 as well. I recommend watching those first before diving into this one, since I'm going to be building off of the ideas in those. Again, I have very limited knowledge of Five Nights at Freddy's, so I'm going into this quite blind, and I will likely not line up with the mainstream theories and ideas regarding the story of the game. If I greatly misinterpreted or missed something, please talk to me in the comments. And if you have a thought on my ideas or an idea of your own, I'd love to hear it. I've kept you waiting long enough. Let's dive right into Night 3. Something has occurred. There's a tragedy, but this guy's trying to save face for the company. That was slow. Yeah, something's going on. I'm probably flashing this thing a little too much. Let me be a little more conservative. What do I? Oh my God! What is that thing? Ew, 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 ew. Oh no. I didn't like that at all. I'm actually scared. That was a scary design. I didn't like that at all. Foxy, gotta flash Foxy. Who's saying hello? Okay. Ah! Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh. Ah! Oh, that scared me so bad. Dude, my neighbors are gonna be pissed. Oh, I was holding my breath there. Don't know how he got in, but whatever. Whoa! Oh, hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Ooh. Okay, don't know what's going on. I'm lost and I'm scared. Oh, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Please don't kill me. Hey, buddy. 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 Hey. Oh no. Oh no. No. Oh, it's Disgusting Chica. That's my character name for that one. Disgusting Chica. Flashlights off. Come on, Bonnie. It's Bonnie, baby. It's Bonnie. And we're gonna put on the mask. Oh, it's Ugly Chica. Hi. Yes! Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God. Hey. Hi, Bonnie. Hi, Chica. Freddy? Bonnie, Freddy. Bonnie, Freddy? Bonnie, Freddy, Chica? Aren't I Freddy? Why is there... That doesn't look like Golden Freddy to me. It's me, though. It's me. No, I believe you. I believe you.
Hello? Think I told you you wouldn't have any problems? Did, Foxy ever repair the hallway? Probably not. I was just curious. like I said, he was always my favorite.
He's my favorite too, Phone Guy. He's my favorite too. Now, the Phone Guy here is definitely covering for Fazbear Entertainment. It's heavily implied that he knew Foxy could get up and show up in the hallway, especially since he knows the actual ways to get rid of him, which is flashing the flashlight. He either knew this from some internal mechanics information, or the previous night guard before us told him so. But even though he knows the danger, he is actively denying its relatively high possibility.
They tried to remake Foxy, you know? They thought the first one was too scary, so they redesigned him to be more kid-friendly instead of in Kids Cove, to keep the toddlers entertained, you know? But kids these days just can't keep their hands to themselves. The staff literally had to put Foxy back together at the end of every shift. Eventually they just stopped trying and left him as some kind of take-apart, put-back-together attraction. Now he's just a mess of parts. I think the employees refer to him as just the Mangle.
We finally got some information on my favorite designed animatronic of this game, the Mangle. Similar to the earlier phone calls, Phone Guy mentions Fazbear Entertainment making the new set of animatronics kid-friendly. This is hard to imagine with my other theories, since it implies that this new Foxy variant was designed alongside the toy animatronics. But in my reading of the game, the Mangle is its own separate entity, not Toy Foxy. I think this because of the lack of Toy Bonnie, Chica, or Freddy drawings on the wall, which makes me think the Mangle came first, even though the Phone Guy uses similar language when talking about all of them. Either way, because it seems like they made this new Foxy for young kids, it makes some kind of sense that it would be a lot weaker and more flexible than the other animatronics. But I still find it hard to believe that a bunch of toddlers ripped apart the Foxy. It's a giant metal robot. I don't think any human, let alone child, would be able to truly damage it. I especially think there's more foul play here and more lying from Fazbear Entertainment, since the Mangle has 2 heads. The original obviously didn't have 2 heads, so this can't just be kids pulling it apart and putting it back together. Other animatronic parts are being used in the Mangle. It's a combination of more than just new Foxy. Perhaps it's the old withered animatronic parts, since we know that they were being actively scrapped for spare parts. But still, the Mangle story is something I don't buy 100%.
Hey, before I go, I wanted to ease your mind about any rumors you might have heard lately. You know how these local stories come and go and seldom mean anything. I can personally assure you that whatever is going on out there, however tragic it may be, has nothing to do with our establishment. It's just all rumor and speculation, people trying to make a buck, you know. Our guard during the day has reported nothing unusual, and he's on watch from opening till close. Okay, well anyway, hang in there and I'll talk with you tomorrow.
So this is mighty interesting. Something in the community around this restaurant is occurring. Some terrible deed that the Phone Guy even called tragic. But Fazbear is denying all involvement. Why? Why even have the need to defend yourself? Clearly there is something connecting this restaurant to the tragedy happening elsewhere, so the Phone Guy is making the rounds trying to cover the company's asses. We also know that whatever's going on is being reported, in the local news no less. This sounds familiar. You know what it sounds like? The newspapers on the wall of Five Nights at Freddy's 1. Yes, at this point I think we are playing right now during the events that were spoken about in the first game. As we play FNAF 2, children are going missing, being lured by someone in a Fazbear suit. At least, that's what I think is going on. We also get another mention of our Night Guard counterpart from last week. It's strange that he keeps coming up. I wonder if he has anything to do with this tragedy, especially since the Phone Guy explicitly mentions him not seeing anything unusual, which is highly suspicious. One thing that happened outside of the phone calls on night 3 are the withered animatronics starting to activate. Foxy had already started doing so, but Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica are now up and running. This is interesting, but I'll go in depth on the animatronics themselves later on in this video. So for now, let's move on to night 4. Oof. Okay. Remember when I was like, this isn't as scary as the first game? Once the old animatronics started moving, once this guy started showing up, it's different. It's very different. It's a lot scarier now. What the? 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 What the hell was that? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh boy. Why does my vision start to fade when I'm getting jump scared? Or when someone's in the office? Hi Freddy, hi Freddy, hi Freddy, hi Freddy, hi Freddy, hi Freddy, hi Freddy. Go away! Come on, Freddy, leave me alone, Freddy, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone. I didn't expect you. I did not expect you. But Freddy is gone. So, whatever. I guess you win some, you lose some. Ugh. My flashlight's not working. God. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Hi Freddy, 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 Freddy Fazbear, Freddy Fazbear, Freddy Fazbear, Freddy Fazbear. Hi Bunny, 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 Bunny. Chica, 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 chica. Oh, the flashlight's almost out. The flashlight's almost out. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, gotta flash Foxy, 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 gotta flash Foxy. Oh no. Foxy's gone, but it's Bonnie the Bunny time. No. My flashlight is cooked. Let me win. Let me win. Please let me win. Yes! Oh my god. I'm doing it. Oh. I'm gonna let the... Excuse me? Who are you? Who is... Hello? Do I know you? I'm gonna... Just for giggles, I'm going to... You know what? I bet that's the stick man. That's the stick man, isn't it? That is the stick man. It's me. No delay. Let's get right into that call.
Hello. Hey there, Night 4. I told you to get the hang of it. Okay, so just to update you, there's been somewhat of an investigation going on. We may end up having to close for a few days. I don't know. I want to emphasize, though, that it's really just a precaution. Fazbear Entertainment denies any wrongdoing. These things happen sometimes. It'll all get sorted out in a few days. Just keep an eye on things, and I'll keep you posted.
So, something is happening. Great, that's about all the details we get. Based on Phone Guy's language, I think it's pretty obvious that something related to Fazbear Entertainment or their company caused something to go wrong, but they deny any wrongdoing for legal reasons. While my first instinct was to go to the missing children, I don't think that's correct. The Phone Guy said these things happen sometimes, which makes me think that some accident occurred within the pizzeria, which is contrary to what the Phone Guy was telling us earlier of a tragedy occurring out there. There's two events taking place right now in my head. The tragedy that is connected to Fazbear but not explicitly, and an accident that is more explicitly tied to Fazbear. An accident tied to Fazbear, huh? There's only one thing that comes to mind. The bite of 87. Is it possible that the bite of 87 occurred just now during the week? It would make sense for Fazbear to cover their bases legally, and why an investigation would be taking place within the restaurant themselves, prompting them to be closed down. You can't operate a business when there's potentially dangerous robots roaming around. Now, there is a chance that this is just more investigation into the missing children. That's entirely plausible. I just doubt that the phone guy would say these things just happen, and the restaurant would themselves have to close, since the bodies were never found, as said in FNAF 1.
Just as a side note, though, try to avoid eye contact with any of the animatronic side if you can. Someone may have tampered with their facial recognition systems. We're not sure. But the characters have been acting very unusual, almost aggressive towards the staff. They interact with the kids just fine, but when they encounter an adult, they just stare. Anyway, hang tight, it'll all pass. Good night.
I'm getting a bit confused now, if I'm being honest. Not looking at the animatronics in the eyes. The fact that they simply stare at adults. That all makes sense. But the idea of tampering with the facial recognition is iffy. I think this might be Fazbear Entertainment grasping at straws, not knowing why the new animatronics are acting so weird. We know that the animatronics do indeed just sit and stare. That's how they kill you in this game, stepping into the office, scanning, then attacking. But why? Why are they acting like this? There's so many possibilities, but the one with the most proof, I think, is that the missing children have possessed the animatronics. At least, the 5 withered ones. But if that's the case, why did they only just now start attacking? And why would the mangle and the toys be acting strange? They have no possessions involved with them. We know they're acting strange, unusual. So, it's not their criminal defense programming doing this. It's something else, something I assume to be supernatural. But does that mean there is a whole other slew of deaths that we don't know about? All of this hinges on the details we don't know. Are the 5 missing children even happening during this week? Did the Bite of 87 happen on the day of night 3 or 4? I don't know. But I feel like these are the missing pieces of the puzzle. I need to go to night 5 right now or I'm going to lose it. I need the answer. On to night 5. But I want to see what happens when I lose the music box. So I'm going to let it wind down. What happens? What's going to happen? What are you going to do? Music box? Anything? Oh, I can hear the Ah! What's going on? Was that the stick man? Is that a puddle of blood? This is scarier than the main game, I'll be real. What happened here? Oh! Hi. Okay. Come on, stick man. What you got? Come on, stick man. Show me what you got. It is gone. Oh! Why did I get a shiver? Why did I get a shiver when that happened? I might be dead. No. Okay. Oh! Okay. I'm gonna have a heart attack. Oh my god. Whew. The scene was fading back. I thought it was safe. That's unfortunate. I really thought I had it. Oh. I don't really know what to do, but... Oh my god, he's in the room. Oh my god, he's in the room. He's in the room. He's in the room. He's in the room. What do I do? I think I'm dead. I have to be. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Oh my god, okay. Go again. Come on. Oh my god. 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 My flashlight is gonna run out of power. That's death. I waited too long. That's so rude that they show it. Oh my god. I'm so done, bro. Stop. How long is he gonna be here? Does he leave? Oh my god, please let me go. No! 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 Surely not. Are you kidding me? I put the mask on. That's so frustrating. Balloon Boy and Foxy together it's a H-E-L-P-T help H-E help the M help them H-E-L Oh, it's repeating. What is going on? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh god, no. Help them. What? Oh, Golden Freddy! Golden Freddy? Why would Golden Freddy show up? Okay. You gotta be kidding me. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. This is not fun. Like, genuinely, this is just frustrating. Okay. Hey, Flash Foxy, Flash Foxy, Flash Foxy, Flash Foxy. Find the music box. Was there? Flash Foxy, wind the music box, mask it up. Check the lights, wind the music box, put the mask on. Flash the hallway, check the vents, wind the music box, put on the mask, take off the mask, do the hallway, do the lights, do the music box, put on the mask, flash the hallway, wind the music box, flash the hallway, turn on the lights, put on the mask, put on the mask, wait for Chica to go away. It's not even scary anymore. I think that's the worst of it. Mask, Flash Foxy, Flash Foxy, Flash Foxy, Flash Foxy, Flash Foxy, Flash Foxy. Wind the music box, put on the mask. Flash Foxy, Flash Foxy, Flash Foxy. Wind the music box, put on the mask. Flash nothing because the flashlight doesn't work. Wind up the music box. Put on the mask, do the hallway, do the lights, put on the mask, do that. Oh, I'm screwed because Balloon Boy's definitely in the building now. Do that, do all this, do all that. Gonna die to Foxy because I don't have the flashlight anymore. Not in the mood. Flash Foxy, Flash Foxy, Flash Foxy, Flash Foxy. Wind up the music box. Do the hallway. Do the hallway. Wind the music box. Die to Bonnie because why not? Okay. Alright, you know what? It's over. How do I skip nights? How do I skip nights? Sorry, I'm sorry to be... This is just not fun, I'll be honest. It's not fun. Oh. Okay, it worked with the numpad version of the plus key, but I'm sorry to give up. I just was not having any fun, and I was just getting frustrated. 1987, huh? Summer job in November, great. Jeremy Fitzgerald. That's a new guy, that's cool. Yay. No discussion. Phone call time.
Oh, hey, good job, night 5. Hey, keep a close eye on things tonight, okay? From what I understand, the building is on lockdown. No one is allowed in or out, you know, especially concerning any previous employees.
Right off the bat, Phone Guy sounds very nervous. Like something is eating him up inside, and his corporate overlords are stopping him from saying to us what he truly wants. Almost like he wants to warn us about something, but can't. The restaurant is officially closed, on lockdown. Given where the night security guard is, I'm pretty confused why we only just found out about this, but I digress. The fact that no one is allowed in or out of the building leads me to believe that a crime was done, and they want to keep the scene from changing, and that whatever crime was committed was done by a previous employee.
When we get it all sorted out, we may move into the day shift. The position just became available. We don't have a replacement for your shift yet, but we're working on it.
This heavily implies that the previous employee that we are meant to be keeping a lookout for is the one who did the crime. And I think it's the previous night guard before us, and the day shift guard during our week in the game.
We're going to try to contact the original restaurant owner. I think the name of the place was Fredbear's Family Diner or something like that. It was closed for years, though. I doubt we'll be able to track anybody down. So just get through one more night. Hang in there. Good night.
We finally have a name for the previous location, Fredbear's Family Diner. Pretty consistently throughout the games, this character has been called Freddy Fazbear, so I imagine Fredbear is a different character, or perhaps an initial version of him. Either way, we know that the Fredbear Family Diner, the FNAF 2 Pizzeria, and the FNAF 1 Pizzeria all occur in that order chronologically. For some reason, the diner is closed, and the people behind it are hard to come by. This reminds me of my theory from the first game, that the CEO listed in the newspaper was the one doing the crimes. Maybe that CEO was actually the owner of the diner at one point. But if that's the case, it shouldn't be too hard to find them, unless they have hidden the fact from the rest of the company. So, that's Night 5 done. After it's beaten, you get a paycheck that looks like this. It was given on November 12th, 1987. What a month for a summer job, eh? But this also confirms that the Bite of 87 is around this time, and if I'm right, the gameplay of this game is before it, and the Bite of 87 is about to happen any day now. We also learn the name of our player character, Jeremy Fitzgerald. This is a different character to our FNAF 1 player, Mike Schmidt. This throws a wrench in things just a little, as the It's Me cutscenes don't make too much sense if this isn't Mike Schmidt. Or my entire theory is wrong and the two night guards have nothing to do with the tragedy surrounding Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. We've now gotten the main game down, but there is still quite a staggering amount of things left to analyze. Let's start with Night 6. Sixth night. Okay. Well, I'll give it a few tries. But yeah, I'm not super excited for this. There's a call? Okay, wait, I gotta lock in then.
Hello. What on earth are you doing there? Didn't you get the memo?
No.
The place is closed down, at least for a while.
What?
Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it. Now none of them are acting right.
What?
Listen, just finish your shift. It's safer than trying to leave in the middle of the night. We have one more event scheduled for tomorrow, a birthday. You'll be on day shift. Wear
Okay.
your uniform. Stay close to the animatronics. Make sure they don't hurt anyone, okay? For now, just make it through the night. When the place eventually opens again, I'll probably take the night shift myself.
No.
Okay, good night and good luck.
Well, actually, I know you'll be safe because you are. You've got a few years left until you get killed by Freddy Fazbear. So go ahead and take the night shift because you're guaranteed to survive that. You're not guaranteed to survive later. Okay, flashlight doesn't work. Great. I think that might be it. That might be death. Great. I'm sorry. I really tried. I just don't think I could do any better. Oh no. I only made $20. After being open only a few short weeks, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is closing its doors. CEO, huh? CEO. That's interesting. And I can't believe I got a phone call on night 6. That's great. I'm honestly so happy about that. Okay, custom night.
Hello. What on earth are you doing there? Didn't you get the memo? The place is closed down, at least for a while.
Small thing, but it seems like Fazbear Entertainment has a real communication issue. We don't hear about the lockdown last night or the closing down now. Fazbear Corporate is slacking.
Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it. Now none of them are acting right.
Folks, alarm bells are ringing. Someone used a suit, a yellow one. I only know of 2 yellow suits, Chica and Golden Freddy. Because we've had no indication that Chica has anything special going on with her, we can deduce that someone used a Golden Freddy suit. To do what? I'm not so sure. There are a few possibilities here. One is that the Golden Freddy suit was used to lure children into the back, where they were killed, as described by the phone guy. However, given the state of Golden Freddy in this game, I highly doubt it. It looks terrifying, and I don't think any children would want to approach, let alone follow someone wearing this suit. I think what's more likely is that the phone guy is talking about the bodies. Bodies found within the suits of the Core 4 and perhaps Golden Freddy, even though I've mentioned that not being the case in a previous video. But that makes the phrasing "used a suit" very odd. At this point, I'm not entirely sure what the specific action was that the phone guy is talking about, but it was surely a crime worthy of shutting down the business. I think that whatever did happen, the suits began to act as if they were haunted right afterward, so something untoward must have happened. Either way, something is going on with this Golden Freddy suit.
Listen, just finish your shift. It's safer than trying to leave in the middle of the night. We have one more event scheduled for tomorrow, a birthday. You'll be on day shift. Wear your uniform. Stay close to the animatronics and make sure they don't hurt anyone, okay? For now, just make it through the night. When the place eventually opens again, I'll probably take the night shift myself. Okay, good night and good luck.
Sounds like Fazbear Entertainment to squeeze out one more birthday party before being closed down for a horrific crime. Jeremy Fitzgerald, our player character that has survived 6 nights, is now being put onto the day shift, which makes me curious who is meant to be the player character of the custom night, or night 7. There also seems to be some fear of the animatronics acting up and possibly hurting something. This is interesting to me, as there hasn't been an actual animatronic attack as of late if I'm understanding the story correctly. The first time an animatronic actually attacks someone that isn't a non-canon death is the Bite of 87. Yet the phone guy continues to say to keep track of the animatronics. They must be acting very, very strange for him to be saying this. He's mentioned them being nasty around adults and fine around kids, so maybe there's an escalation in that behavior since yesterday when someone used a spare yellow suit, whatever that means. Finally, let's take a look at the Night 6 paycheck. Robots scrapped. Freddy Fazbear's is closing. After being open only a few short weeks, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is closing its doors. The new animatronics will be scrapped due to possible malfunctions. However, the original characters are being kept in hopes of a possible reorganization of the company. It's a minor setback. We are confident that we will reopen someday, even if it is with a much smaller budget. CEO of Fazbear Entertainment. We got some overtime! Yippee! This location is officially closing its doors, and the new animatronics, the toys, will be scrapped. This brings to mind that something occurred involving the toy animatronics hurting somebody, and not the withered like I would expect. So, what happened? What could have possibly been done? My only guess is the Bite of 87, which must have happened the day Jeremy Fitzgerald went into the day shift. I wonder if it was him who was bitten. I hope not. Also, I still don't know what happened to the previous night guard that turned into the day guard. It says the position just became available, so I theorize that he was fired, perhaps due to being arrested for doing something criminal, but it could also be that the previous night guard was actually hurt in some way, and that's why the phone guy was so antsy about watching the animatronics to make sure they don't hurt anybody. I think the toy animatronics had something to do with it no matter what. We also get to see the CEO again, who I assume to be the same one as the first game. It makes sense that the FNAF 1 restaurant is as beat up as it is, given the smaller budget mentioned by this CEO. But this also hurts my theory of the CEO actually being the perpetrator, because he would have been arrested by now. I know there's a whole lot left to discuss, but for now I'm going to move on to the custom night, or Night 7. I want to see Golden Freddy. I don't think I got to see Golden Freddy. Let's put him on extreme. Hey, bud. Hi. Oh, he's gone. Okay. I thought he would kill me, but whatever. There we go. That's a weird jump scare. Does the 7th night actually get me anything? If I beat it? Because there's no phone calls. do get something. Great, now get out. I got a pink slip to Fritz Smith. Employee number 3, effective date now. First day on the job? Really? I'm fired because tampering with animatronics and odor! This is Mike Schmidt! It has to be Mike Schmidt. So, we actually get another ending screen after beating one of the challenge modes of this game. We get a pink slip. On it, it says our name is Fritz Smith. While somewhat similar to the last guard's name, this is indeed someone else. A new night guard on the night of Jeremy's day shift. We also know this because it says it's our first day on the job. And in terms of reasons for firing, we get some familiar ones. Tampering with animatronics and odor. Sound familiar? These are the exact same reasons given for firing in FNAF 1 for Mike Schmidt. I theorized that Mike Schmidt was fired after looking for clues and catching the smell from the FNAF 1 animatronics. In this game, Fritz Smith gets fired for the exact same reasons. This is highly unlikely unless, of course, Fritz Smith is Mike Schmidt. After getting fired in this game, he likely changed his name to get a job at the new FNAF 1 pizzeria, continuing on his quest for clues as to what happened to his young relative. The child, I believe, is haunting Golden Freddy. Now, did he find what he was looking for here? No, otherwise he wouldn't have shown up in FNAF 1. But even so, the order of events here is getting really confusing. We've gone through all the nights now of FNAF 2, so now I want to take a closer look at the animatronics themselves. Withered Freddy is a really great design, I must say. Like the phone guy said, these guys were being retrofitted with new parts, as can be seen by the half-done electrical work poking out of these guys, but were abandoned to be used for scraps. This is such a great avenue for some really creepy designs, and I think Withered Freddy gets to show that off just a little. He looks menacingly calm in his features, like he's just lumbering towards you slowly, knowing there's nothing you can do to stop him. He's also in the game over screen, where he looks all smug, staring at your dead body through the eye holes of the piece of equipment that was your salvation during gameplay, the old Freddy Fazbear head. I also like how the microphone is permanently welded to his hand. It's a fun touch. I just really like this guy, I don't know why. Now, for a more unsettling one, Withered Bonnie. This guy is horrifying. I believe he was the first Withered I saw besides Foxy, and boy, he freaked me the hell out. The most obvious details here has to be the missing face, but it's not even that. The entire endoskeleton head has been gutted, leaving a dark, shadowy area with some slack jaws laying there. It's a horrific design. The missing arm and plush covering also adds to the creep factor, as well as this almost moldy texture he's got going on. Just incredible design work here. What an absolute mess. Withered Chica is much the same as Bonnie, pure nightmare fuel. The cracked open jaw is disgusting, and the missing hands alongside the strange T-pose she's stuck in is just uncanny. It's like her joints can't even move anymore. That's how old and rusted these guys are. I didn't even mention that for the first 2 nights, we only have glimpses of these guys from parts and services, so we wait in anticipation for the first 40% of the game for them to get up and start pursuing us. It's actually perfect horror. Finally is the one that actually appears first, Withered Foxy. Similar to FNAF 1, Foxy is treated as an outsider among the main band, like something is going on with him that's different from the others. He isn't in parts and services like the other 3, and can't be fooled with the Freddy head and must be blinded to be thwarted. I think that because he has only one eye, the flashlight has more of an effect on him, but I still can't figure out why he personally can't be fooled by the mask. And I think that mystery adds to his weirdness, to his mysteriousness. In terms of his design, truly what more can I say? I love Foxy. He's my absolute favorite in the 2 games so far. He's just so fun. I love the pirate motif, and the added creepiness of being broken down like the other Withereds, plus his weird awareness and knowledge above the rest. I mean, how can you not love this guy? I said finally for Foxy, but I do want to mention Withered Golden Freddy here. He doesn't really show up much, waiting for night 6, so not even in the main game. He is definitely in bad shape here, similarly taken apart, but he acts very similar as he did in the first game, slumping around and attacking via a more supernatural than physical attack. In the context of the first game, I did think Golden Freddy was a manifestation of the terrible deeds done in the Fazbear restaurants, but this game proves that he is indeed a real animatronic, just decommissioned. He is still relevant, however, as we get "It's Me" mentions in the cutscenes, and he's active during the minigames, but that's for later. In contrast to FNAF 1, I really don't have much to say about Golden Freddy right now. Now, on to some designs I'm less thrilled about. Toy Freddy is just kinda fine. I don't know, he's not very scary unless he's actively jump scaring you. He just looks like the chud version of normal Freddy Fazbear. I don't know. I really don't have much to say on him. Toy Bonnie is actually a lot more interesting to me. He actually looks like a new kind of design. When he comes into the office while you have the mask on, it's actually quite unsettling. I think the wide eyes really sell the creep factor for me more than Toy Freddy. Even so, he's not that scary. He's just kind of goofy. Love the guitar though. Okay. Toy Chica. I absolutely despise this design so much. The phone guy said these toys are meant to be family friendly. Exactly what part of this is family friendly? Why is she in underwear and a bib only? I mean, seriously, what are we doing here? With the beak off, I guess it's kind of scary, but really, after seeing what it actually looks like normally, I just get a feeling of disgust whenever I see it in the office or on cams. It's just very yucky. Even finding images online of her proved to be challenging. The puppet is very, very interesting. The phone guy calls it an animatronic, but it doesn't really feel like one. It feels mostly analog, its movements dictated by the strings pulling it up. However, it does seem to be hooked onto some kind of rail in the restaurant since the phone guy says it can travel anywhere. It's also where we see the most stressful new mechanic of this game, the music box. For some reason, you need to keep this mysterious music box wound up or the puppet will activate. This is heavily concerning, because this is clearly not a programmed thing. This is something found incidentally, and the song is a calming effect on this new creature that is no longer just a simple animatronic. I think the implication here is that this is another child, probably much younger than the rest. Even so, this character, similar to Foxy and Golden Freddy, seemed to be more aware of what's going on than the rest. The puppet can see through the false Freddy head during gameplay, and can also appear as apparitions in the camera, similar to Golden Freddy in FNAF 1. I'll give my more detailed thoughts on the puppet when we tackle the minigames and my final theory, but for now, I think the puppet feels like a ringleader of these new shiny toy animatronics, almost puppeting them. I'm going to start with Mangle because he's my favorite new design for this game. The reason I don't put them with the toy animatronics is because they feel very separate from them. Even from a basic design, they are clearly not of the same batch of animatronics. The same could be said about Foxy and the main crew, but even more so for Mangle. They literally look like a different brand. But the real kicker with Mangle is the absolute horrid design they were given. They are a mess of limbs and spare parts haphazardly put together, and my god, I love it. There's almost none of the original animatronic left, and it's just so creepy. We also hear this weird static whenever we see it on camera or in the office. It's like the sound system of this animatronic was destroyed beyond repair, and some Fazbear schmuck just stuck a radio in there as a temporary replacement. Man, I love the Mangle. You know someone I don't love? Balloon Boy. I just don't like this guy at all. He's kind of a boring design. He makes really annoying sound effects that half of the time don't mean anything, and are just meant to distract the player. And then, when he inevitably makes it into the office, he disables your flashlight and guarantees death in the later nights. He's the main reason I decided to skip Nights 5 and beyond. I was just getting way too frustrated. He also just stands eerily in the office and doesn't attack. Probably because he knows I'd knock his head off if he got near. I don't know. I don't like this guy. The next few animatronics are less full characters, but rather secrets that show up in very rare occasions. Let's start with JJ. This just looks like a recolor of Balloon Boy and can only be seen under the desk in rare instances. I don't know what this guy's deal is, but he's around, I suppose. The next one is a bit stranger. There's a random endoskeleton that can show up in the pizzeria in various cameras. He can't actually attack the player, but he's also just sort of there sometimes. He's triggered by the puppet being fully activated, which is a strange quirk. It looks to me like an endoskeleton for Foxy, but I could be wrong. Now, onto a very strange fella indeed. Shadow Freddy. He appears in parts and services, and looks like Withered Freddy with a black and white color scheme. You can argue that it's blue or purple, but in-game, I think it's clearly meant to be black. Perhaps this is what I originally saw Golden Freddy as, a manifestation of the horrors done in the Fazbear restaurants, manifested as a dark effigy of the mascot of this franchise. I think I like that idea. A lot, even. If it weren't for the fact that there's a second Shadow animatronic, Shadow Bonnie. Now, apparently, Shadow Bonnie's name is RWQFSFASXQ. I don't know if this is meant to mean something, but I'm going to treat it as a keyboard smash for now. In contrast to Shadow Freddy, Shadow Bonnie has no texture to him, just pure black and white. It's also Toy Bonnie, not Withered Bonnie like I would have expected. It seems more hostile than Shadow Freddy, given that it can crash your game if you stare at it for too long. So even though they are both Shadow animatronics, I'm going to treat these two as separate entities with different motivations. What these motivations are, I'm not sure yet, but it's time to dive into some of the minigames of this game. Yes! Oh my god. Poop it. I think I never got this right. This is hard to listen to. Oh, there's blood under the table. Okay. I want to explore. Sorry, I'll come see you. What the? These are the broken animatronics. Wait, is this the FNAF 2 location? That's a child. Last time I did that, the game ended, so I'm gonna avoid it. Hello, puppet. Wait, what's up here? What? What happened? Yes! Oh my god, finally. This is new. Get ready. I'm ready. Go, go, go. Oh my god. Okay. Go. I'm going. Hi. Hooray. Get ready. Okay. Go. I'm going. Here I go. Hooray! 5 children in a group doesn't fill me with a lot of hope here. Who is that? Who's that? They're dead. Oh, God. What? Ah! Hello? What was that? Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Come on. I'm gonna completely follow the puppet now. Don't touch the body. Oh my god, that's a lot of blood. What's going on here? Can I get in the box? No. Whoa. Hello? Oh, bye. Okay, peace. What's Mango? Mango's moving. That's interesting. Okay. Ooh. Okay, wow, really small. Those are the toys. This is the toy animatronics. The red guitar and the missing beak. Those are the toys. This is definitely the FNAF 2 location. For sure. Okay, we've been in. Why is the tiles change? Okay, nothing going on here. Gosh, I'm slow. Walk a little faster, Freddy. Bloodstain under the table. Big old bloodstain here. Kid in here. I'm assuming it's a child. Doesn't really look like a child, though. Okay, party room. And... interesting. Have I seen it? Huh? What? I assume that's Golden Freddy. But I honestly thought I was Golden Freddy, but... okay. Don't call me a kid. Laying up here are the toys, correct? That's the postman. Can I go this way? Okay, it's the box. Here's Mangle. Mangle's going out. I think I've seen it all, so let's end this. Yes! Take care of the children. E? M? S? A? V? E? Can I go to this kid? I can't leave. S-A? Oh no, they're angry. I can't make them happy. Why can't I make them happy? What's going on outside? Hey, the kid! The kid! The kid! Save the kid! Up! Up! Freddy! Freddy, move! Freddy, why can't you move? Please! Please! First, let's talk about the largest minigame. Save Them. In this game, you walk around as a Freddy, which I believe is Withered Freddy. This area that you explore is actually the FNAF 2 pizzeria, the one we are playing in as Jeremy Fitzgerald. You can tell this by the layout matching the cameras during the main gameplay, and also because it has the Withered animatronics, toy animatronics, Mangle, and the puppet. As you enter, the puppet travels through the pizzeria. When following, you pass by various pools of blood and dead bodies. We finally reach the puppet's resting place, their wind-up box. Exploring the pizzeria doesn't show us much besides these dead people, but it is interesting to me that there are only a few animatronics active. The puppet, Withered Freddy, and the Mangle are the only animatronics that are up and running. The rest are slumped, deactivated. Except, of course, for Golden Freddy, who does appear and reappear around the restaurant and disappears when you interact with him. This is interesting because I'd imagine Golden Freddy having more of a kinship with his fellow dead kids, but he seems avoidant, immediately running when we get near. We also see a mysterious purple fella. He seems to be holding a tool of some kind and wearing a big yellow badge. If seen, he will approach you and the minigame will end, and instead of the normal red static that shows up, blue static will show up with the words, "You can't." A direct answer to the title of the minigame, Save Them. This is pretty clearly the killer, as he is actively taunting us that there is nothing we can do to help these poor people that have been killed. Now, there are 5 dead bodies around this pizzeria, so that begs the question, are these the 5 missing children mentioned in FNAF 1? The 5 children that go on to become Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and Golden Freddy. I'll give my thoughts on that as we keep going. The next minigame I want to talk about is called Give Gifts, Give Life. It's a much smaller game, but it shows something very, very interesting. We play as the puppet as we go around a small room with 4 dead bodies in it. At the top of the screen it says Give Gifts. We go around giving each body a present box, similar to the one the puppet lives in, and the ones in the posters with the puppet. After that, we see the puppet go around one more time with the text, Give Life. This time, the puppet places a mascot head on each body, and as you place the last one down, a fifth child appears in the middle with a Golden Freddy mascot head, and you get jump scared by Golden Freddy. This indicates a lot, including the fact that I think the child possessing the puppet was killed first, or at least the puppet was the first animatronic to become possessed, and, seeing more children suffer in the same way they did, tried to help in the only way they could, by giving them the same new life that they got. This is also intriguing because it could show that the bodies weren't actually stuffed into the suits by the killer, as previously assumed, but rather placed in them by the puppet. At least for the main four, Golden Freddy is still a mystery here. Why is he separate from the puppet? Why is he special? The next minigame is called Take Cake to the Children. This one is again in a very small room, but this time it seems like the room is the entire building. Nothing here indicates that it's the FNAF 1 or 2 pizzeria, and the animatronic we play as is the only one in the room. It looks to be a Freddy Fazbear of sorts, but it's holding a cupcake on a plate, a characteristic of Chica in the games. This leads me to believe that this location is a precursor to the pizzerias we play in, and we only know of one place in the past, mentioned only once by the phone guy, Fredbear's Family Diner. As this mysterious Fredbear character, we go around giving cake to 6 rowdy children. Outside, a lone child sits crying as a car rolls up, a man pops out, and kills them. After this, the puppet jump scares the player. This is a pretty cut and dry story, I think. This is the story of the puppet's possession, and it shows that their killer is the same as the one for the 5 people in the FNAF 2 restaurant, as they appear the same purple color. The last minigame is called Foxy Go Go Go. This is a strange one, again highlighting Foxy as different from the rest. We see what I believe is the FNAF 1 Pirates Cove area, with a Foxy that's actually functioning. So we know that it's before the events of FNAF 1. He comes out to surprise 5 children, one of them noticeably sadder than the rest. The third round of this turns tragic as the enigmatic purple man shows up, smiling, and you enter into a room of 5 dead children. This is certainly interesting. It's hard to know what's going on here, but these 5 kids were killed in the FNAF 1 pizzeria, at least from what I can glean. In the FNAF 2 restaurant, another 5 kids were strewn about. There's also the lone child outside of Fredbear's Family Diner that was killed. That totals to 11 murders by this strange purple man, alongside the death of the phone guy in FNAF 1 and the Bite of 87 victim, who I assume died as a result of their injuries. There is so much death surrounding this entertainment company that I find it hard to believe they aren't just bankrupt at this point. But besides that, I have to ask, why Foxy? Why is it always Foxy that's weird? The other minigames are highly focused on the puppet and Golden Freddy, but why is Foxy always an outlier as well? I truly don't know. The only thing I can think of is my theory from FNAF 1, that Foxy was the first of the bunch to be created. But since FNAF 2 is set before the events of that game, we know that this batch of animatronics were already together as a group in disrepair before that game even took place. So, who knows what's the deal with Foxy? Who knows? Alright, the next thing isn't necessarily a minigame, but there are a bunch of transition cutscenes after you beat Knights in this game. In these cutscenes, you turn from left to right from the perspective of Freddy from Five Nights at Freddy's 1. You see Bonnie and Chica around you as you turn, but the cutscenes change as you get farther into the game. They start normally, just standing at the ready. After night 2, they look at you. After night 3, they look at you more directly, and there is a Freddy Fazbear also looking directly at you. And after night 4, they look away, but the puppet is here, tracking your movements. All of these cutscenes end with the static that says, "It's me," the calling card of Golden Freddy. These cutscenes can mean a lot of different things, but I think in essence, they seem to be calls for help. In FNAF 1, when the phrase "It's me" was presented, it was Golden Freddy reaching out to Mike, but for what reason, I wasn't sure. Either it was to warn him to get away, or to let him know that he is indeed there, waiting for Mike to save him. But in FNAF 2, it's a lot more ominous, and not about Golden Freddy explicitly. Here, it's visions from within Freddy Fazbear. Maybe this is showing Jeremy the torment that the kids were forced to endure, forced to be these characters on a stage against their will, a new, horrible life given to them by the puppet. The puppet and Golden Freddy seem to have a very overlapping role in this story, and I'm very curious what connects these two, and if there is a reason why the puppet did what they did, and why Golden Freddy seems to be the most supernatural of these new possessed robots. Now, we've got some strange, rare screens that can show up in the game before a night randomly. These can be Eyeless, Withered Freddy, Toy Bonnie, and Withered Foxy. Notice anything about this particular crew of characters? Withered Freddy and Toy Bonnie are the two shadow animatronic models, and Withered Foxy is the only non-special animatronic to have his own minigame. I just think that's another hint that not only is there more to the shadow animatronics, but to Foxy. Man, what is the deal with Foxy? Before I move on to my final theory, I want to get a quick lay of the land of all the human characters afoot in the story so far. We don't have too many of these, so I think it's worth cataloging them for now, since they are so important to the story. First up is Mike Schmidt, the player character from Five Nights at Freddy's 1. This guy worked 6 days at the FNAF 1 pizzeria before getting fired on the 7th, for being too stinky and tampering with the animatronics. Next is Jeremy Fitzgerald, who worked 6 nights at the FNAF 2 location, while a whole bunch of stuff was happening during the day, and eventually got sent to the day shift. The one replacing him is Fritz Smith, who joined up as a night guard on the final day of this restaurant being open, and somehow still managed to get fired. Fired for what? Being too stinky and tampering with the animatronics. Sound familiar? Next up is the phone guy, who is present in FNAF 2 to show us the ropes while also covering up for Fazbear's mistakes, and continues to do so all the way into FNAF 1. In that game, he inevitably meets his fate, as karma catches up to him for being a corporate drone, and Freddy Fazbear kills him in the back room. We also have the unnamed CEO, who is in the ending newspaper of FNAF 2, as well as the newspapers from FNAF 1. They are uncaring and only care about the business, no matter what tragedies may have occurred. Next up is the mysterious Purple Man from the FNAF 2 minigames. He killed 1 person outside of Fredbear's Family Diner, another 5 in the FNAF 1 location, and another 5 in the FNAF 2 location. This serial killer used a mascot costume to lure children into his grasp before killing them, and was caught in the act sometime before the events of FNAF 1, and seemingly was arrested. Whether this killer and the CEO are the same person, who knows? We also have the previous night guard in FNAF 2, the week before Jeremy Fitzgerald, that transferred into the day shift. After mysteriously disappearing, we don't know much else about this guy. We also have the Bite of 87 victim, an event that we still know very little about. We know their frontal lobe was destroyed and that they somehow survived, but I doubt for very long. Okay, that's all of the human characters out there, and I think we've covered just about every detail from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. It's time to put the pieces together and make this story whole. So, after compiling so much information from Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and 1, here's my take on the story of Five Nights at Freddy's thus far. Many years before 1987, a small restaurant was opened with the gimmick of having food be served by a fun animatronic character. This restaurant was called Fredbear's Family Diner, a very tiny establishment that excelled at entertaining children. As the restaurant got more popular, an entertainment company was built around it, titled Fazbear Entertainment. Business was booming, and the character of Fredbear was popular. However, a tragedy that started this entire saga would push this small diner into obscurity, buried by the company it helped to create. A lone man saw this restaurant as the perfect place to find a victim for his murderous impulses. And when a young child was stuck outside the diner, weeping and crying, he killed them and immediately drove away. This child lay outside, tear tracks pouring down their face, before their spirit latched onto a toy inside the restaurant, a rudimentary puppet, and the effigy of their tears was placed onto it forever. This puppet, with new life, could not move on their own, but their supernatural nature allowed them to affect things, make people see things they wouldn't see otherwise, and project messages for those who came looking. During this time, they also searched for their killer, a rage building as the years passed by. That rage only consumed them more when they saw what occurred next. Some time after the closure of Fredbear's Family Diner, a new restaurant opened, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Here, a new crew of animatronics were created, including Freddy Fazbear, Chica, Bonnie, Foxy, and the new and improved Puppet. Fredbear, the old mascot of the company and the one most associated with the death of the young child, was abandoned, left to rot, and stripped for parts. It is this animatronic, Fredbear, that I think eventually becomes what we know as Golden Freddy, the limp suit. At this new Freddy Fazbear Pizza restaurant, 5 children go missing nearby. Our killer somehow found a way into the restaurant, likely as the night guard, and took a suit, the one not being used by anyone at the moment, Fredbear. After donning the suit, he lured children into the back room of the restaurant to kill them. What he did not know at the time was that a new and improved puppet was watching this all take place. Physically powerless to stop him, but with a growing rage that couldn't be stopped. Once killed, the murderer covered his tracks by stuffing the bodies into the suits of Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and the broken down Fredbear, the same suit he used to trick these poor kids into their fate. After the deed was done, the puppet saw it only fit to give the second chance at life that they got to the other 5 children. And so, the 5 children possessed their respective coffins, with the one inside Golden Freddy the most furious of them all. Unable to move, he threw his consciousness out in a rage towards any other night guard to come by, manifesting as strange supernatural happenings. Being thrust into the suit that led to his death, and unable to help physically in the hunt for their killer, tormented this child as they sat in the back room, trapped, still, waiting. The killer was caught on camera luring these children away and was charged with some crime. However, the lack of evidence of the actual bodies led to his unfortunate release. After a while, the restaurant drew suspicion, after a smell began to come off of the animatronics, and something like blood and mucus began to show up. When Fazbear Entertainment went to check it out, they realized that these robots had the remains of children in them. They covered their tracks, hid the evidence, but the health inspections were too damning and the restaurant closed down. Looking to reinvent the brand, Fazbear Entertainment opened a new restaurant a few years later in 1987. This new, exciting branch of the company included the new roster of animatronics, the toy animatronics, including Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, Toy Foxy, Balloon Boy, and JJ. During the first week, Toy Foxy in Kids Corner is torn apart, and after trying their best to put it together after every shift, Fazbear Entertainment left it to be a build-your-own animatronic adventure for the kids. This is what birthed the Mangle. These new animatronics are built with face scanners and a connection to criminal databases. This was likely added so that future incidents could be avoided. Now, the old animatronics, the ones that did have bodies inside of them, are being kept in the parts and services room. The puppet is also in the restaurant, but because it wasn't associated with any of the deaths, it's been allowed back onto the main restaurant area. Now, this new exciting restaurant shows up and the first night guard is hired. There's some quirks though. This night guard mentions that animatronics keep trying to enter the security office, so Fazbear quickly moves him to the day shift for the following week. This is when our first playable character enters the scene, Jeremy Fitzgerald. Throughout his first week as night guard, our main contact with Fazbear Entertainment begins dropping some strange bits of knowledge. Not only are the withered animatronics acting up, but so are the toys. We have explanations of why the withered animatronics and the puppet would be attacking the player, but why would the toys be doing that also? Well, the phone guy says that the withered animatronics are being stripped for parts. Where are these parts going? Right into the toys and the new animatronics. If the souls of the 5 children are attached to the metal and not the plush exteriors that I theorized in part 1 of this series, then placing that metal in other robots is bound to make them act awry. Add that to their criminal database and facial scanning, and you have a whole new crew of bots waiting to strike with the rage of lives gone too soon. Some might say that the toy animatronics are actually haunted by their own set of souls, but I disagree and I'll get into it later. On night 3, we hear some of the rumors floating around. On night 4, we hear that there's an investigation going around and the robots are more aggressive. And on night 5, we are in full-blown lockdown, and the day shift guard, the previous night guard, has seemingly vanished. I think what has happened is that sometime around night 3, our killer struck again, and 5 more children were murdered in the FNAF 2 pizzeria. You can see their bodies strewn about the restaurant, with pools of blood blotting the floors. However, at this point in the game, the toy animatronics are already proven to be hostile, so I do not believe that these 5 new deaths triggered a new set of hauntings. Not only that, but the numbers don't add up. There's 5 new deaths and yet more than 5 new animatronics to account for. Toy Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, the Mangle, Balloon Boy, JJ, and Endo-02. 7 robots, 5 bodies. It doesn't add up. I think that this new string of murders didn't end up in any hauntings, but was rather just another spree killing by our story's villain. He even says, as the puppet begs us to save them, that we can't. A second life as an animatronic is not possible. And on that topic, I believe that this story's villain has been in our face the entire game. I think our killer is the security guard that worked the week before us. We see a yellow badge on the killer, indicating some sort of security, and we also hear of his mysterious disappearance from the role of day shift, almost like he fled the scene of the crime or he was fired for some reason. Seeing that he got away with it the first time, our killer went back to his ways of luring children using a mascot suit. The same golden bear mascot suit he stuffed a child away in only a few years prior. But he was sloppy, more confident that he'd get away with it again, and didn't stuff the bodies into suits, just leaving them on the floor. This enrages the puppet even more, as well as the other animatronics. They become more erratic, more aggressive. They saw the man that killed them continuing on his horrific journey, and are so blind with rage that they see any Fazbear employee dressed as a guard as a threat. This all culminates at the end of the week, as Jeremy Fitzgerald is moved to the day shift. The animatronics, already on the fritz, see a guard. And of course, they attack. This event is commonly known as the Bite of 87. That's right. I think Jeremy Fitzgerald is our bite victim. And I think the Mangle was the one to do it, since they're one of the few animatronics with the jaw to clamp over a skull. And the fact that the toys specifically are being decommissioned shows that a toy animatronic likely did the deed. That night, a new night guard sneaks in, Fritz Smith. He was never supposed to be there, but it doesn't matter. He's fired immediately and the restaurant closes its doors. Fritz had dreams of the first pizzeria, the one where someone close to him was killed. The child that possesses Golden Freddy is a relative of Fritz Smith, and after being called via dreams with the message, "It's me," he found the only job he could, the open night guard position. He was fired for tampering with the animatronics and odor. The current CEO of Fazbear Entertainment vows to return, in a lower budget if necessary. This lower budget pizzeria is the one we see in Five Nights at Freddy's 1. What's cheaper than going back to a place you already own? Who cares that a tragedy happened here? Slap a new coat of paint on it and we're good to go. The withered animatronics are fixed up with old parts, and the new restaurant is functioning cheaply. One thing that wasn't cheap, however, was the new security office, which now has blast shield-esque doors to make sure nothing like what happened in the previous location can happen again. Fritz Smith sees all this happen, and on his quest to find answers, applies to be a night guard once again. He changes his name so they don't know he was previously fired, and joins up as Mike Schmidt. He works his way through the week, getting closer and closer to the answer, his vision inundated with hallucinations and visions from Golden Freddy, begging him to recognize him. "It's me. It's me." On his 7th night, he is fired for tampering with the animatronics, and odor. His quest, once again paused, his search for answers, incomplete. This is my final theory on what is occurring in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Wow, this game really complicated the story, didn't it? There are a few things here I want to mention that don't fit so airtight into this theory. The first item, and the one that brought me the most grief while writing this, is the bodies. Where did they go? We have clues that show us the bodies were stuffed into the suits for the first 5 children, and that they were in there long enough to cause a smell, as well as blood and mucus. This is also why the bodies were never found. They were in the suits, unseen. However, by the time of Five Nights at Freddy's 2, these robots were being dismantled for parts. Would they have not seen the body parts remaining? My best guess, and it's what I said earlier, is that Fazbear Entertainment got rid of the evidence to not get in more trouble. Which is evil, pure evil. And I think the games are meant to point at American companies and their evil tendencies, especially in the humor of the first game. So maybe that's what the story is going for. But what about the 5 other kids in the FNAF 2 location? They were just on the floor of the restaurant. We know that the killer was still active in the building, so maybe he hid them after the fact, but where? How did he get away with it? I have a pet theory that changes a lot of my analysis, that maybe the killings happened during the week before Jeremy joins, while the killer is still the night guard. But the timing is quite off with the phone guy messages. There's also the case of Shadow Bonnie and Shadow Freddy. I have a small theory about them, but it's not related to anything else. These two are interesting and clearly related. I think these two are meant to represent the trauma of everything that has happened in the Fazbear franchise. Specifically, I think that Shadow Freddy is meant to signify the physical trauma, being slumped in a suit, similar to the first round of children after they were stuffed into said suits, and that Shadow Bonnie is meant to signify the emotional trauma, with a name being a rageful keyboard smash and just crashing the game, shutting down the mind of the player. But that is the end. These were my thoughts on the FNAF story thus far, but don't worry, I'll be back. While my next video might not be FNAF related, I will be making FNAF videos in the future, because this is just a ton of fun. So, do like and subscribe if you're interested, and thank you so much for watching. I'd love to discuss different theories, so if you have thoughts on anything I said, I hope you leave a comment and I'll make sure to reply. Thank you for watching, and happy learning.